Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning into the day's energies, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Hope this reading finds you happy and healthy and enjoying your journey to becoming more and more yourself. All right, the overall energy of this reading is the World card. This could be an end of a cycle, leaving an environment, leaving a cycle with accomplishments and achievements, with the lessons learned from whatever the cycle has been. World card also feels like very expansive. Expanding out into the world. This feels like very expansive energy, large, worldwide energy, expansive, seeing things differently. Wow. Beautiful. What does the viewer, whoever's here, what do they need to know about this world energy and the overall energy? Alrighty. Nine of Cups in reverse, King of Wands reversed. I just heard nothing gained. Something nothing gained. You lose all the opportunities you don't take. Nine of Cups in reverse is my card for centering someone else. King of Wands in reverse is a very insecure energy. Someone who's allowing fear to dictate their stuckness. So this King of Wands in reverse, it feels like they've centered someone else in their experience. And so they're not happy, there's no blessings, and they're terrified to take any type of action to correct this. Afraid to follow their desires, their wants. Is this what you're leaving behind, viewer? Are you leaving behind centering others in your experience? Of allowing fear to dictate how you show up. If that's the case, it looks like you're ending that cycle, no longer centering others in your experience. Yeah, you've got this Queen of Swords, Sun energy. An inner clarity and outer clarity. Sun card is seeing things clearly. The sun lighting the environment up, spotlighting truth, clarity, happiness. It feels like you've got an inner discernment and you're seeing yourself clearly and what you want and who you are, and you're seeing your world clearly. World. All right. So you're coming out of being very unhappy for a long time, maybe a lack of blessings. And it feels like that's as a result of centering others in your experience. Not aligning with yourself, but getting chronically out of alignment by centering, focusing all your attention, your care on someone else. And it feels like, so when you do that chronically over time, you center someone else. You're not aligning with you and what's for you, but you're aligning with someone else and giving everything to them. I found that when you do that over time chronically, that you become out of alignment with your alignment with what's for you. And so it creates a lot of insecurity because you're out of alignment with what's for you. It brings a lot of fear. Anything else that the viewer needs to know? Okay. Fool card. I love that the Fool card showing up, clarifying the world. The Fool card's 0, the first card of the tarot deck, and the World card's 21. It's the last card of the Fool's journey in the major arcana. Feels like you've already taken a leap of faith in a new direction. You've ended a cycle, and now you've got this inner discernment, and you know how to make yourself happy. You understand yourself so much better, and you understand the world that you're in, and so you've created a leap of faith in a new direction, going after what you desire. Feels like this new direction, you're not burdened by carrying other people's burdens. You're traveling light, caring for yourself. It looks like in this new direction that you're not interested in false relationships. Fantasies. Someone who sells you a fantasy. Feels like that's how you got into the position of centering someone else. Oh, this is you going in. Yes, this also is you leaving, but it feels like I'm getting like a recap. You took a leap of faith with someone, and who Knight of Cups created an illusion, a fantasy, and that they're on the same page, that there's partnership here. They'll help carry the burdens, your burdens. But it looks like in reality what you got was 6 of Cups. This type of relationship where someone treats you as less than. A lack of care. Doesn't look like it matters how much you complain. They're like, I don't know why you're complaining. That they're totally gaslighting you and your reality. They just deny your reality, which makes you insecure. So you trusted someone else's view of reality, of a fantasy, but the reality of it is they wanted you in a less than position. And it looks like destabilize you chronically. So what I love about this is with the World card that you're ending this. You've ended it. And you've got the discernment. You can see this past relationship and you see outside clearly. All right, moving on. We've got the hidden blessing. 6 of Swords in reverse. Not being able to move on to calmer waters. Feeling nervous, anxious. Feels like that's your nervous system telling you that this is not correct. This person is not correct. There's all this, excuse me, anxiety, inability to communicate your needs, a timidness, learned helplessness. What does the viewer who resonates, how is this a hidden blessing? Oh, I'm getting right away that the longer you're in this environment with someone who created a false illusion, a delusion, a fantasy, and then couldn't deliver on that, it feels like the longer you're out of alignment chronically, centering this person in your life, it just, your nervous system is completely debilitated, wrecked. But what I'm also seeing is once you end that, once you leave that environment and you start aligning back with you and what's for you, then a lot of chronic conditions will disappear because you're no longer chronically out of alignment. You're coming back or back in alignment with what's for you. And it'll feel like blessings to release this energy, to release this way of being. Yeah. It feels like a very painful ending. Not gonna lie. Very uncomfortable. But it feels like this is being done for you. Fortune after difficulty. It feels like you needed to see how cruel this person can be. Oh, looks like they've even talked others. If they can't control you, if they can't keep you in alignment, and they can't control you, they're going to control how others perceive you. And they're going to tell a story of abandonment, that you've abandoned them. This person, very manipulative, to say the least. But what I'm seeing with the Emperor showing up as the last card on Hidden Blessing is, feels like you've been in leadership training, learning how to lead yourself, to not allow someone to lead you, mislead you, someone who does not care about you, which is evident in how they treat you, how they positioned, how they hoodwinked you, told you a fantasy. So the blessing here is once you leave this environment, you can't understand what's going on from inside the crazy house. There's this crazy house inside this relationship. It's too confusing. There's too many projections and being unaligned, centering someone else for so long. You can't really attune to what's real and what's not until you leave. World card, leaving that environment, ending that cycle with achievements and accomplishments. And the achievements is you have this leadership skills, coming back to yourself. I feel like you are a leader. And the blessing, the hidden blessing in all this uncomfortable situation that you thought was something else, a fantasy. And really it feels like it, if you allow it, if you leave that environment and lead yourself, you step into Emperor energy. Very capable, adept, leader, by first leading yourself. All right, what you're leaving behind is the King of Wands. All right, King of Wands in reverse showed up in the overall energy. I felt like that was describing kind of where you end up. No light, no passion, no desire, feeling insecure, forgetting that you're a King of Wands, forgetting that you can make moves. Why is the King of Wands? Okay. In this case, holy cow. Whoa. All right, King of Wands. Ace of Cups in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse, Empress reversed. Feels like you're taking action and you're leaving behind people who don't love you. This is not love. This is coercion, manipulation, control, punishing energy, purposely destabilizing. This is not someone who sees you as an equal. That's not love. And anyone who doesn't want you to love yourself positions themselves as more important. That's not love. Anyone who demands that you give from an empty cup, that's not love. Someone who doesn't return the favor and fill your cup and love you in return, but just demands that the energy flow from you to them. It feels like someone wildly immature. Not operating in good faith. Someone who's stuck, very, very immature. They don't want to grow up. And very likely third parties. Or they've got you taking less than taking care of them. Supply. It feels like this person has, and you're not finding it out here first. This isn't to validate anyone's delusions. This is if you know there's been a third party. You might even have a toxic matriarch, either mother-in-law or your own mother, someone, a very toxic. There's too many people in this relationship. Tell me about the Queen of Wands in reverse. Someone jealous, envious. This person feels like third party. Five of Swords in reverse. They flip the script. You're horrible. Whatever they're doing, they're telling on themselves by projecting and saying you're doing that. That you're a bully, that you're mean, that you're controlling. Whatever they were doing to you, they're positioning themselves to a third party. This person feels like they have the biggest woe is me. They're a victim. They're such a victim. They're not willing to do anything about the relationship because they can't, because really they're what they're describing. But their positioning is you're the problem. You're leaving all this behind. Ooh. Humiliation, public humiliation. For some of you, it feels like a third party. Because of all the lies and deception thrown on you, on your name, it feels like it fires up this Queen of Wands in reverse. Third parties. Because they've heard all of this lies, deception. This person's very good at fabrications, creating illusions, delusions. Okay, tell me about the Empress in reverse. This feels different than the Queen of Wands in reverse. Wow, that's wild. Boy. Big shift in the energy there in my ears with the divine, the toxic feminine, toxic matriarchy. You're leaving this energy behind. This feels like Page of Pentacles. Communication, seeing things differently. Why is the Empress in reverse? What the viewer's leaving behind. What does the viewer need to know? Nine of Wands, Queen of Cups in reverse. There's some type of communication that doesn't feel like you're involved in with a toxic matriarch. So you're leaving a toxic partner but also third parties, if that's for you. And a toxic matriarch feels like someone who you're protected against, you're guarded against, because this person wants you wounded, wants you in your woundedness, wants you in something they've projected how you need to show up, right? That's JJ. This toxic feminine energy needs you to be not yourself. And I think you're guarded against that. They're wanting you to show up unhealed, wounded, hurt. Maybe because you're easier to manipulate that way. Anyway, it looks like you're leaving that behind. Leaving behind. What I'm perceiving is a lot of discernment that you have from leaving these cycles, leaving these type of people, seeing them clearly, and leaving them behind. All right, how to get the most of this energy is the Four of Wands. Nice. Happiness, celebration. This is a wedding card because you've reached some type of destination, next level of happiness, commitment, celebration here. Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck. This feels like continuing to be happy, joyful, choosing to be happy and joyful, going after what you desire creates more happiness for you. I'm going to get a fresh deck. All right, what does the viewer need to know how to get the most of this energy, this world energy? All right, King of Cups in reverse. Someone's emotionally immature, unstable, doesn't know, manipulates emotions and doesn't know how to stop it. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is it feels like someone you might have married, taken the relationship to the next level, commitment. You thought you were, it feels like this person created a bait and switch. They told you that this is amazing, we're going to be amazing, until they got you to some type of commitment ceremony. And then it looks like the real them showed up. Someone who's incredibly immature, that's wanting to manipulate your emotions. They don't want to change. Death reverse. They don't want to change. They don't want to grow. This person doesn't want to grow up. So there's a bait and switch here. Feels like after a ceremony, then the real them shows up. Who they really are, what this relationship really is. Wow. King of Pentacles, Hierophant, Taurus energy, very stubborn, bullheaded. I'm the leader. I decide what happens. So it looks like there's a bait and switch. Commitment, because no one, who they really are, no one would agree to that. So they had to sell you a fantasy, hide who they are, manipulate your emotions until the commitment, until you move to the next level, and then who they really are came out. Someone who's so immature and with no intentions of ever becoming solid in their emotions, of exploring their emotions. Feels like that might be your job. Low key is to you process their emotions for them, and they get to be the boss. The buck stops here. I decide. I'm more powerful. This, and again, Hierophant, it can also be a ceremony, commitment. And they position themselves as stubbornly as the leader of the two of you. So how does the viewer get the most out of what I've been sharing? King of Swords, cutting out that type of activity. It looks like there's a lot of discernment, a lot of understanding, and no longer interested once someone shows you a shift in their energy, in their personality. Feels like you might rush in like, well, they're having a tough time, they're under difficult, like you make a lot of excuses. Or you did in the past, doesn't look like you will now. Feels like once someone shifts their vibe, you cut them out. You're like, all right, well, this is who you are now. I don't even feel like you communicate a lot now. Now, once someone shows you, if there's some switch, everything's great, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden something switches and there's something very different and they're expecting you to just roll with it. I think you're like, nope, I've been there, done that. I've got the t-shirt, not interested. What's supporting you? We've got the King of Pentacles showing up again in what's supporting you. This feels like you embodying the energy of stubbornly being yourself. Being grounded. Taking care of you. Feels like you might be a little stubborn. A little focused on stability and security. Which feels it's supporting you. Being focused on your base chakra, on whatever creates stability and security and abundance for you. What does the viewer, thank you. Page of Cups reversed, Eight of Swords. An immature person, unapologetic, immature, had you hoodwinked for a while. Had you blinded to see what was going on. Maybe you were a little willfully blind, didn't want to see this Peter Pan type of energy. Someone who doesn't want to grow up. They stay very shallow. They're not childlike. They're childish. There's a difference. With the King of Pentacles, it feels like you're no longer interested in fantasy. You're taking your time with people and allowing them to show you who they really are. And if they change up on who they say they are, you trust that and cut out who you're not interested in. This does feel very like you know how to lead yourself. You know how to lead yourself. You're not allowing someone else to lead you. Oh my goodness. All right. What to be mindful of? We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. False illusions, delusions, fantasies. Projecting, idealized. Maybe that's how you got into this position with this person. A lot of fantasy and projecting a fantasy on them, projecting your unmet needs and wants. I think you know to be mindful of someone who's selling you a false reality, a fantasy, that feeling. Oh, it feels so good, but they can't maintain that. They can't create that in the real world. It's projections. Yeah. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. They can't create that in the real world. they can't, it's only fantasy. It's only in taking advantage of your false hopes. They don't know how to bring that into reality and create that. They're just taking advantage of unhealed emotions, of manipulating emotions. They have no intentions, and they don't know how to make that happen in the real world. They don't know how to bring it into the pentacles, ground it into this reality. All right. I'm going to do an extended reading. So if this has been resonating with you and you want to continue on, there's a link in the description box below. It says extended reading here. And that link takes you right to part 2 on Patreon, where I'll be looking at health, relationships, creativity, new opportunities in career and finance. So I'll see you over there. And if not, have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.